You can of course create resources from any role center, at least if you have the permissions to do so. But you can see that I've switched to the Project Manager role center, and this is because in this video and also in the next ones, I will show you job-related tasks. And in the Project Manager role center, I have quick access to jobs, job tasks, resources, and so on. Now, if you also want to switch to another role center, you can do this by going to My Settings and select the role that you want to use. So again, in this case, I'm using the Project Manager role. Now, there's a notification that says this role center contains functionality that may not be visible and so on. Now, this is because of my user experience. So if you have the same, you can go to the company information. And if you scroll down on the FastType user experience, you can see that my experience is set to essential, which means that only the essential functionalities are displayed. But in the demo company, you can very easily switch to premium. So I will do this so that all functions and features related to jobs and resources are displayed. So I will click on OK. And then if you close the company information page, you will see that the program automatically restarts. Alright, so Business Central has restarted. You can also see now that the notification disappeared. And now I'm ready to create a new resource. So I can click here on Resources. So here you can see the current list of resources, but I would like to create a new one. So let me click here on New. And the resource is Stephen. You can of course use the number series to automatically assign a number, but I think it's useful to use the resource's name so that you can recognize the resource by looking at the resource number. So in this case, let me use Stephen Roberts. There we go. So as you might know, resources can be of two different types. So a resource can be a person or a machine. So in this case, it's of course a person. Then there's the base unit of measure. In most of the cases, it's a time-related base unit of measure like day, hour, and so on. But you can use anything you want. So in this case, let's use hour. Now, just like items, you're not limited to only one unit of measure. So this is the base unit of measure. But if you click on navigate, if you click on more options, navigate resource, you can go to units of measure in case you want to enter another units of measure. So for example, I would like to add day, so I can very easily add day, and a day has 8 hours. For Cronus, and there we go. So this resource now has 2 units of measure, and hour is the base unit of measure. Alright, there's the search name. If you want, you can assign a resource to a resource group. So this could be useful if you would like to set up prices and costs per group, but in this case I will just leave this blank. You can also enable the timesheet function for resources. That's something I will come back to in one of the other learning paths of this course. And then, just like with an item, you can set up cost information and price information. So there's the direct unit cost. So for example, 100. If you want, you can add an indirect cost percentage. And there is also the unit price, 150. So this means that this resource has a cost of 100 for each hour, and we're selling the resource at 150 per hour. Now in the next unit or the next module of this learning path, you can see how to create additional resource prices and resource costs. But for this example, let's just stick to the unit cost and the unit price. Now, it's also very important to know that resources are never posted to the general ledger for their costs, but only for their prices. So if you sell a resource, Business Central will post the sales to the general ledger, but you cannot purchase a resource in Business Central. So resources are considered as internal resources. Now, if you want to be able to sell a resource, you can assign a text group. In Europe, that would be a VET product posting group. So for example, in this case, let's just take labor. Then there's the general product posting group, which is services. There we go. And okay, because this is a US demo company, there are no VET product posting groups. But again, in most European countries, you will find VET product posting groups based on the VET rates that you can select here in this field. Then it's not necessary to set up the deferral template for this example. And then if you scroll down, you can enter personal data. So you can enter the job title, address data. So, and that's of course typically for resources of the type person. The personal data doesn't apply to resources of the type machine.